Okay. Tell me we're up. Nice. I think we're up. Okay. Let us take this out. All right. Can we hear me? Okay, I'm just going to wait for feedback. Hey, 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 hello, can you hear me? Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so I guess we can begin. Okay, so welcome to the stream. Welcome. We have a very informative and interesting stream for you today. Well, at least it was interesting for me putting this all together. And I hope it truly blesses you. Yeah, so you guys already know I like to talk about premium brands, and today we are talking specifically about a type of premium brand, right? And that is luxury brands, right? If you can still hear me, let me see in the chat if you can still hear me. Okay, I can't see anyone in the chat saying they can hear me. Can anyone hear me? Okay, nice. All right, so let us dive right in. Okay, so to be more specific, we are going to talk about the hidden signals, right, that luxury brands use that most founders ignore, right? These signals are the things that separate, average brands from luxury brands. And once you see this, once you get these points, right, you cannot help but appear premium, right? Okay, awesome. Everyone can hear me. Okay, so like I usually say, most premium brands just look expensive, right? They do not psychologically signal premium, right? In this case, they do not psychologically signal luxury, right? So today I'm going to show you what they are missing, right? And everything I will be showing today is based on published research and real brand examples from a few brands that I have selected. And yeah, so at the end of this, you'll learn the hidden luxury signals that most of these top brands use, and not just, slapping an expensive price tag on your product. Okay, so what are these hidden signals, right? What are these hidden signals? Let me give me a second. What are these hidden signals? These hidden signals are subtle cues, right? Subtle brand cues that are embedded in their design, in the product, right? And the customer experience, basically, that, shapes the perceived value of the brand, right? So great luxury brands signal status and emotion, right? While average founders focus too much on explaining their quality instead of signaling value, right? So what are these four main luxury signals? So we'll just glance over them before we go in deep, right? So the four luxury signals are, can you guys still hear me? Everyone still here? Good, 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 good. Okay. All right, so the four luxury signals are craftsmanship and aesthetics, storytelling and framing, scarcity, and experience architecture, right? Now, these four signals, every luxury brand has, but not every premium brand has this, right? You do not need all four to be a premium brand, right? So we'll go more on that as we move forward, right? So before we dive deep into the main source of today, I want to just let us know what the opposite of these hidden luxury signals are, right? So basically, this what I'm going to mention now are cheap signals. Cheap signals, things that make your brand look tacky, make it look like, it's not should not be noticed, right? What are these cheap signals? The very excuse me, the very first one, the one that I really, 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 notice I said a lot of reallys. Really, really do not, I can't stand it, right? Explaining too much. Like, cheap brands explain too much. Now, I'll show you a couple of examples, right? Cheap brands explain too much. Things that you're not supposed, that the customer or your let me say client is supposed to just pick up, right, from these luxury signals. You start explaining them away, right? And it doesn't, when a king has to tell you he's a king, you know he has lost his crown, right? That kind of thing. So the other things, right, are bad design, right, which is bad aesthetics and craftsmanship, right, and then not defining who you are for, right. That is basically, you're creating a product that speaks to everybody, and when you're creating for everybody, you're creating for nobody, really. Yeah. So in the next 60 seconds, we're going to go into each of these four signals. We're going to show how you can do them by showing other brands that are already implementing these signals. But before we do that, we need a word from our sponsors here. Okay. Are you a young African entrepreneur or a skill builder ready to go from zero to mastery and actually make it for real? Most people learn skills online but never apply them. They get stuck, confused, or lost. No guidance, no accountability, no real world results. That's why we created the Growth Academy community, a cohort-based mentorship program. You join one field, follow a structured path, get a live mentor, support, complete real projects, and graduate with real skills you can apply professionally. Now, how does it work? Onboarding, you start with onboarding and skill assessments, then you move into live classes and then weekly mentorship. You have real world projects and capstones, demo day, certificate presentation, and lifetime community access if you need to get the information again and again and again. Yeah, so the spots are limited, mentors are hands-on, and this is not casual learning. So join the Growth Academy community today. Learn, do, and level up your career or business. Send a DM to Mr. Mordecai, the principal of the mentorship program, on WhatsApp at +234 815 690 5304. That is Mr. Mordecai on WhatsApp, +234 815 690 5304. All right, let us dive into the main source. Okay, so the very first luxury signal is craftsmanship and aesthetics. Like I said, this is the lowest bar of entry for any serious brand, right? Basically, luxury brands should always scream high quality, whether it's their product, right? Whether it's the material used for the product, whether it's the design, their website design, their store design, everything has to scream high quality, basically, right? So, like Oscar de la Renta said, the famous fashion designer that worked under Balenciaga, right? He says luxury is in each detail, right? So you have to, when creating every single touch point, your customer is going to see, you have to make sure that it is, high quality, right? That is the lowest bar of entry anyway. Premiums have to get this right. If not, they're not even entering the door. All right, so I don't think we need any example. This goes without saying. Let us jump into storytelling and framing, right? Now, storytelling, the way luxury brands go about storytelling, it's not by over explaining. They don't give you the full story, right? They subtly display, their story by their associations, by the things they invest in, right? Like I went for a car show some weeks ago that was sponsored by Fearless, the energy drink, and if you notice, there's really nothing they say, right? All they do is they associate themselves with what they want you to relate with, right? And that forms the story, right? Their story basically is, fearless adventure, right? Kind of like Red Bull, but with their own twist, right? I think they focus on car shows and all. So let me just go to their website on Right Foods, right? Limited.com. If you look at this, the only thing they say is embrace the thrill. There's no story. Like, there is literally no story. The only story you see is probably they'll align with influencers, align with events that craft the background story for them, right? Let me go to Rolex. I want you to just tell me what you think. If you can get that in the comment section, that'll be awesome. Like, this is Rolex web. They don't say they don't say anything. Announcing the new Lorettes. What is that? They're just showing the bush, man. Like, go down. It's obviously, it looks good. The website looks very, very good. Elegance in 2 acts. Nothing. A commitment beyond borders. Nothing. They don't say anything at all. Right? They do not say anything. Let us look at Hermes. Right? Nothing. They don't tell you anything. Boots speak, accessories take the lead, and wink of mischief bends the line of style. What does that even? They don't say anything, right? Let's look at Tiffany. Tiffany is my best. Like, hardware by Tiffany, right? Can you all hear me? Oh man, the sound is down. Wow. I wonder what is going on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Put in the chat if you can hear me. Hello. Okay, so the sound is good. I wonder why. I think someone said they cannot hear. Okay, all right, so let us continue. Like I was saying, Tiffany is my best. They do not say anything. at all. Like, it's just hardware by Tiffany. Nothing. It's Tiffany, man. Guy, you will buy. Once you see the Tiffany colors, right? This Tiffany blue, it's like they don't need to tell you, right? If you look at Ferrari, also, nothing. They don't tell you any. Like, there's no page. There's nothing for you, right? It's just okay. It's just talking about the I think the Formula One car that they're entering into their next competition, right? But basically nothing, and that's just for the fans, right? They don't tell you anything, right? So their stories are basically associations, right? Associations, and then they could hint a bit of it in the aesthetics that you see in advertisements and all. It's they're never explicitly telling you what they are about at all. At all, at all. They're never telling you what they're about. The story is in your head, right? They'll just give you enough content to fill it up. Okay. I'm glad that we get that. Now, the next hidden luxury is scarcity, right? See, these guys, these luxury brands are exceptional, right, in creating this luxurious scarcity thing around their products, right? Very, very, very good. Very, very good. Now let's look at this article I was reading some days ago. I really want us to get a sense of how these brands, create scarcity around their products that makes people want to rush, right? Okay, so this article is by Alicia Jagwani, awesome name, by the way, and she says, "This how luxury brands use scarcity without even ever saying limited edition. The most powerful luxury brands don't announce scarcity; they design it, right? Rolex, Goyard, Patek Philippe almost never label products as limited, yet they remain some of the hardest names to buy into. Now, that's not coincidence. Here's how scarcity actually works at the top end of luxury. They limit access, not production numbers, right? Rolex doesn't tell you how many Daytonas exist. It tells you nothing. Instead, availability is filtered through authorized dealers. Relationship history and time. The product becomes secondary. Access becomes the real luxury, right? So it's almost like a club, right? So they remove convenience on purpose, right? Goyard has no e-commerce, right? They have minimal communication and almost no advertising. Yet, right, you cannot casually browse the brand. You have to want it enough to show up. In a world obsessed with ease, inconvenience becomes exclusivity. Like, can you imagine? They make waiting part of ownership experience. Patek Philippe doesn't rush demand. Long lead times aren't framed as shortages. They are positioned as respect for craft and heritage. Now, waiting stops feeling like frustration and starts feeling like initiation, right? Feel like you are being like initiated into a group by waiting for the product. It's crazy. Check this out. They never overspeak. No countdowns, no only 50 pieces worldwide, no urgency marketing. This is counterintuitive to what most marketing strategies are, right? Like if you take like a basic marketing course, this is not what they tell you, right? But then again, luxury branding is very different and very nuanced, like I'll show you in a bit, right? Now, No urgency marketing. Silence itself becomes a filter. Only those already in the know stay interested. What's the result? Scarcity that feels earned, not engineered. The real insight is this: luxury scarcity isn't about making less, it's about controlling the journey, right? Who gets in, how long it takes, and what it feels like along the way. When brands say limited edition, they are explaining. Take notes. Take notes. When they don't, they are operating at a different level, right? Which brand do you think executes scarcity most intelligently today? I mean, right? Let me show you these examples here. Bad examples, right? This is Patagonia, right? It's a I think a snow fashion brand, right? They sell snow kits and stuff. Like they get stuff right? Until you get down here, and then it's like they're explaining who they are. Like, we guarantee everything we make. We take responsibility for our impact. We support grassroots activism. We keep your gear going. We give our profits to the planet. Like, these things should be implied in their events and associations, right? Like, you should hear about it. Oh, Patagonia did this, they did that, and they shouldn't tell you. Like, they're telling you they are king, so they are not king. I'm sorry. Sorry, Patagonia, shitting on you. Then there's another one, Everlane. This is actually very elegant, right? But there's a section I saw that felt like over explaining, right? Just this little piece just took it out for me, right? Natural isn't our new direction, it's our origin. But that's not the whole story. We go further. Organic and regenerative are over conventional, traceable over vague, designed to last over designed to trend. Responsible style has never looked better. Like, I just feel like they're just going on and on about, like, trying to use words to explain what they're trying to do. I don't know. I might be wrong, but to me this is reaching, right? So let us there's one more thing I want to show about scarcity. Yes. And that is this article here on watchbook.sg, right? Which talks about Rolex waiting lists, right? I'll just read a few excerpts and I'll show you like how long it takes to get like each of the popular Rolex brands. So the Rolex wait list has become a well-known phenomenon in luxury watch world. It's a system used by authorized Rolex dealers to manage the high demand for specific popular models that are often in short supply. And when a customer expresses interest in a particular Rolex watch, they are placed on a wait list, as these watches are typically unavailable for immediate purchase. Understanding the Rolex waiting list process is crucial if you're looking to acquire a Rolex quickly, because it can impact how long you wait to receive your desired watch. Keep reading to learn how to navigate like a pro. Okay, so now this is the wait list, right? Here's a table showing some of the most popular Rolex models and their average wait times based on demand and availability at authorized dealers. Okay, so we have the Rolex Submariner. Takes 6 months to 3 years to wait for the watch, right? Extremely popular, especially the steel versions. We have the Rolex Daytona. We have 1 to 5 years or more to wait for this, right? Now then you have the Rolex GMT Master 2, 1 to 5 years. You have the Oyster Perpetual, 3 to 18 months, right? We have the Datejust, which is 3 months to 1 year. The Sky Dweller, 8 months to 2 years. Explorer, 6 months to 1.5 years. the Sea Dweller 6 to 12 months, and then you have the Yachtmaster 6 months to 1 year. This is insane. And then if you're like a Drake or a Jay-Z, you wouldn't wait. You would get it immediately, right? But this is for, regular folks that want to get Rolex. And Rolex positioning basically is like an achievement piece, right? So that's a lot of people want to wait, right? A lot of people want to wait. So I want to talk about, next thing I want to talk about is the setback that new luxury brands would have. And I noticed this section of this AM World Group blog that talks about heritage and storytelling in luxury brand, that speaks to what I am talking about, what I'm trying to say, right? And give me a second. Just want to make sure we're still good. Okay. So, and it's basically explains, the edge that old brands have over, the newer brands. So let me just quickly run through this. Now, historical narratives from the foundation of luxury brand identity, providing authenticity and emotional depth that newer brands struggle to achieve, right? So all that jargon basically is saying the older brands like Gucci, like Versace, Rolex, they've had years to ingrain their authenticity into the minds of everybody, right? So established luxury houses leverage their founding stories, historical milestones, and cultural contributions to create rich brand mythologies that resonate with consumers seeking meaning beyond material ownership. These heritage stories serve multiple branding functions, justifying premium pricing while creating emotional connection that transcends rational product evaluation. Right? So basically, what this is saying is the older brands have a more have their perception properly baked in the mind of society, right, in a way that the newer brands that are in luxury do not have, right? So I just wanted to mention this. I think it's true. I think it's partly true, but I don't think it's something that new luxury brands should let bring them down, right? Yeah. So something else I want to talk about before we go to our last luxury signal, which is experience architecture. I want to talk more about scarcity, right? Yeah, let's talk more about scarcity. Yeah, so same blog has a section that talks about exclusivity and scarcity. I just want to, buttress the point I made earlier, right, with this blog, right? So, controlled distribution strategies form the backbone of luxury brand exclusivity, right? Where brands carefully limit product availability to maintain premium positioning and consumer desire. This approach operates on the psychological principle that restricted access increases perceived value, right? And social status associated with ownership. Luxury brands implement various exclusivity mechanisms, from limited production runs to selective retail partnerships, creating multiple layers of scarcity that reinforce their premium positioning. Yeah, so basically what this is saying is the whole scarcity marketing thing is the backbone of luxury branding, right? for you to create a successful luxury brand, you need to be able to, you know, let people know that this is the holy grail and it is limited, right? Yeah, so same article talks about how Rolex and what do you call Birkin bags, yeah, right? Let me just go real quick. Luxury brands engineer artificial limitations that transform ordinary products into coveted status symbols. Right? Like Hermes deliberately restricts Birkin bag production to fewer than 200,000 units annually worldwide, creating wait lists that extend 3 to 5 years for first-time customers. It's crazy. So I'll have to wait 5 years to buy a bag. Mad. Okay, so um, based on this latest statistics, right? The top luxury brand, like according to branddirectory.com, right? The top luxury brand right now is Chanel, and they use this exact scarcity model to achieve this, right? You can look at a glance of the top 10. You have Chanel, you have Louis Vuitton, you have Nike, you have Hermes, Rolex, Adidas, Zara, Dior, Cartier, and Gucci, right? Chanel just went up and put Louis Vuitton down, right? How did Chanel do this? So I traced down this article on the Times of India that talks about this. It's quite long, but let's see if we can get the basic idea of what Chanel did, right? Okay. A brand achieved its 19 billion luxury status by strategically embracing scarcity, refusing mass production, steep sales, and fleeting trends. Right, this deliberate restraint cultivates desirability, making products coveted for their rarity. By saying no to dilution, this brand protects its brand soul, allowing for higher prices. Okay, let me just get into the meat of it. In an age where every brand seems obsessed with growth, virality, and selling to everyone, Chanel quietly built a $19 billion luxury fortress by doing something radical, saying no. No to mass manufacturing, no to steep sales, no to watering down the house's heritage, no to chasing every passing trend. That little word became their superpower and their biggest driver of value. Chanel today isn't just a brand, it's a symbol of deliberate scarcity. They don't make everything, nor do they want to, and that very restraint turns their products into something coveted, not just for the design, but for the rarity, right? In a world of luxury, scarcity isn't about shortage, it's about choice. Chanel deliberately keeps production limited, not because they can't scale, but because abundance destroys aspiration. Unlike mass marketing brands that flood the shelves, Chanel retains an aura of privilege for some, right? Take the iconic Chanel classic flap bags. It's not something you walk in and buy on a whim. Sometimes you get approved. That waiting itself becomes part of the value. That delay, that effort, that exclusivity isn't exactly what makes the product. It's exactly what makes the product desirable, right? So basically, if you continue, what this is just letting you know is for Chanel to achieve this, right, from number 3 in 2024 to number 1 now, they tightened down on being more scarce than the rest, right? So scarcity, I would say, with this is is the most important luxury signal in this list. So let us go to the last luxury signal, which is experience architecture. And I would draw our attention to this article by techtarget.com. This article was required reading for a branding course I did on Coursera from a London Business School. So the article is basically about what is customer experience management, right? So we'll just skim through. We'll look at what customer experience is. We'll look at what customer experience is, and then we would look at the benefits of customer experience, right? All right, so customer experience management is the collection of processes a company uses to track, oversee, and organize every interaction between a customer and the organization throughout the customer life cycle. Right? I'll take that again. Customer experience management is the collection of processes a company uses to track, oversee, and organize every interaction between a customer and the organization throughout the customer life cycle. Now, why is this important? Customer experience is important, right? Because it contributes to a customer's perception, right, and sales. It can be positive when done well and negative when some elements of the customer experience management are left unattended, right? Like if you have the opportunity to buy a Rolex, right, you would notice that every step of the way they have a positioning mechanism put in place, right? Even while you're waiting for the Rolex product itself to come to your doorstep, right? It is not by chance. It has been crafted and engineered and re-engineered for years, right? It has to be a what's the word? It has to be something that is unique. It has to be a process that that feels like a initiation ritual. Yes, right? Should feel like an initiation ritual. Yeah. So right. So there are several benefits of implementing CXM strategy, right? The customer retention costs less than the acquisition, right? Your customer feedback drives the improvement of the entire experience, because the happy employees project a better brand experience to the customers. Contented loyal customers voluntarily endorse the company's brand to their peers. That's very important. That's why the process has to be like a ritual, right? So that when they're explaining it to their friends, it would be something they would also want to experience, right? Now, I guess we'll save this for another stream. Yes, so let us head back to the chat. Guys, what do you think? Do we have any questions before we close out? Are there any questions about luxury signals? Okay, I'm gonna wait 1 minute. If we do not have any questions, we would quickly have another word from our sponsor, and then we'll close out. Any questions, guys? Questions? If there are no questions, I believe we have, I believe we definitely made our point. Okay. Okay, we have one question. So, what if you're a service based business? Yeah, if you're a service based business, you can still apply these luxury signals. Very, very, very much so. It applies to any. Give me a sec. Okay, yeah. So it applies to basically products or service based businesses. If you're a service based business and you want to, um, create scarcity, I would say, let me give an example. Let me use an example. Yes. I don't know if you remember Salt Bay, the guy that makes steaks and then drops salt on the steaks in front of his customers. That's a service, right? Preparing steak and serving it. Definitely there'll be scarcity, right? Definitely there's a story behind it, which he doesn't explain his story, but you can tell that it's really, really good beef, right? And yeah, the experience architecture, very, very unique, right? It's putting salt in front of you, spicing in front of you, and then feeding it to you. Very unique. Not everyone does that, right? So yeah, you can definitely apply this to service based, product based. Okay, another question. Sorry, let me read this properly. Okay, I think I'll just switch tabs. Okay, question just popped up. Can an upcoming brand use these luxury signals? Yes. Yes. Upcoming brands can use these luxury signals. Um, the there's really, like I said when I was, you know, talking about this article here. Let me just switch to it real quick. That talked about the heritage, the story of older brands, right? Can give them an edge over newer luxury brands. Which, although that is true, it doesn't mean that these signals cannot be applied, right? They can be applied as long as you are, as long as you are engineering your scarcity, you have a good customer experience, and then your story is, you're not over explaining your story. You're using signals, associations to explain your story. Definitely, 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 it will still work for an upcoming brand. Yeah. So, do we have any other question? How do they achieve luxury signal? Well, basically by applying these four things. But won't the use of scarcity affect their growth? Well, the use of scarcity could affect their growth if their storytelling is not top notch, right? You do not. You need to know where your audience is, right? You need to know where your audience is. If you have access to, where billionaires get to hang their planes, if you have access to that, right, then by all means put your brand there, right? Tell your give your subtle signals there, right? If you do not know where your customers are, right, then you would start worrying about it affecting you, right? Once you can get attention, right, and your product speaks to your exact audience, then you're good. Yeah. Let us see. Um, okay. Can we see my screen? Can everyone see my screen? Right, we're about to close out. We are about to close out. Is there anything else I want to talk about? I do not think so. Okay. I just realized that I haven't been showing my face. Okay. All right. I wish I had been showing my face from the very beginning, but it's all cool. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You all are very, 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 very well appreciated. And to sign out, I'll just read a few words from our sponsors again. All right. Are you a young African entrepreneur or skill builder ready to go from zero to mastery and actually make it for real? Most people learn skills online but never apply them. They get stuck, confused, or lost. No guidance, no accountability, no real world results. That's why we created the Growth Academy community, a cohort based mentorship program. You join one field, follow a structured path, get live mentor support, complete real projects, and graduate with real skills you can apply professionally. How it works: start with onboarding and skill assessment, live classes plus weekly mentorship, real world projects and capstones, demo day, certificates, and lifetime community access. The spots are limited, mentors are hands on, and this is not casual learning. Join the Growth Academy community today. Learn, do, and level up your career or business. Send a DM to Mr. Mordecai, the principal of the mentorship program, on WhatsApp, plus 234-815-690-5304. That is Mr. Mordecai, the principal of the mentorship program, on WhatsApp at plus 234-815-690-5304. And for those of us who would be wondering what are the programs we have data analysis, we have design, right? Like design, a very, very deep design course. We have computer programming, we have China importation, we have real estate, right? And we have music production and sound engineering. Yes, so if you're interested, we have mentors that would begin. Registration has started, but the program would start well in March. So yeah, let us reach out to Mr. Mordecai and get registered. All right, so thank you very much. I hope this blessed you. I hope you learned how to use Luxury signals. And till next time, I really enjoyed this, to be honest. Peace.